live at 2. Scopely says F you. And there's quite a bit of controversy surrounding this, is that Scopely is apparently doing some A/B testing. And so what was discovered is I've been making these top 10 beginner guide. I'm going to be putting out another one tomorrow. And two players, one, my wife, Kat, and also K9 Kismet, both started accounts on similar days. I believe they started in the same week, about 2 days apart. And so we're getting ready to make these videos for top 10 beginner guide. There should be another one out tomorrow. And what we're finding is that K9 is at level 66 and Kat is at level 76. And so some investigation was done. Why is K9 at 66 and why is Kat at 76? And that has to do with this right here. Kat, his account is boosted in some way where she's getting an additional amount of experience. And K9, you can see right here, is not getting that. Now, this is creating a lot of problems. And K9 made a spreadsheet of some areas that he's level locked where this is creating problems and an unfair advantage because some players have boosted accounts and other players don't. Arena, losing cores, which is the main currency of the game. Characters locked at 65 G12. Probably missing it out on 50 cores a day over 60 days. Campaign, don't have access to Heroes Chapter 7, Villains Chapter 7, Nexus Chapter 8, do more. And of the hard campaigns, hard isotape, incursion, even severe lack of farming. He probably doesn't also have access to a blue ISO, which Kat just got the other day. Events, incursion, anything else level 65 or below. Trials are level locked and not showing up at level 65. Dark Dimension 2 or above, only have 15 saved squads, even though he has 75 characters, 493 characters that are unlocked. But he has 193 characters unlocked and only 75. Now, the thing too I want to say about K9 Kismet is he's a veteran player, where Kat is a brand new player. She's never played Marvel Strike Force. Spending 1 to 2 weeks to level up one life versus 1 to 2 days. Competing in CC against accounts that start at the same time, they can take their characters to level 75, and I'm stuck at 65. So this is creating a problem. And firstly, I believe that Scopely does A/B testing all the time. Like, for example, I do A/B testing even with thumbnails. Like, I will upload 2 thumbnails to YouTube, and YouTube will say, this thumbnail did a little bit better than this one. Maybe you should make more thumbnails with higher contrast background. Same thing here. This one did a little better than this one here. So A/B testing is important to get data where they take one group of players and they boost their account, like the one that Kat's in, and then they have the regular accounts, and then they compare probably metrics like engagement or spending. And the idea is that they want to have a better new player experience, I guess. And and if giving people like Kat creates better engagement, more spending, whatever metric they're looking for, then maybe they will boost all the accounts going forward after they've conducted their tests, their experiment. But obviously, this is not really fair. I mean, this is a game where we're playing against other players, and to get a competitive advantage, people spend money. And I know K9 Kismet, who is at level 66, is really not happy with the game. And the only thing I can think of is that I think that Scopely does these tests from time to time, and maybe they got away with doing them, and now they were caught because, I'm making a video series with 2 players that started the game at the same time, right? And we can see what's happening. I did ask Dorky Dad. Dorky Dad started a new account, and he started an alliance, and it's a lot of veteran players all started at the same time. He told me that for his point of view, it looks like 30% of the accounts are boosted. And I don't know if Scopely is going to do anything about this, but I know this is upsetting for the people that do not have the boosted accounts. I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, I went to Scopely headquarters when the game had been live for maybe like 3 or 4 months. And I remember being there with Casino, and I have a vague recollection of this conversation, but I remember the context of the conversation. There was some A/B testing being done back at that time, 5, 6 years ago when the game was brand new. And certain players, I believe, were getting a large sum of gold through a calendar. And Casino was upset about it, rightfully so, because some players were getting large chunks of gold and other players weren't. And he confronted one of the guys at Scopely. And I don't remember the conversation word for word, but the feeling I got from that conversation is that this is a normal business practice for them at the time, and that they weren't sorry and they weren't going to apologize about it. And that's how they wanted to find out if giving players more gold would lead to better engagement and more spending. And I believe the outcome of that experiment, where they tested giving people more gold versus not giving everybody gold, didn't lead to better engagement and better spending. And so I don't know what the purpose of this test, but it is really bizarre, and it's creating a lot of inequality for new players. And I don't know if the test is still running, or if the test was successful, or if going forward this is going to be a thing. A lot of people ask me questions about if they're going to start a new account. Should they re-roll until they get this? I don't know. So I know businesses typically have to do things like this to, it's a best practices so they can find out the actual data, the numbers, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do in a game where you're playing against people in Arena and you're playing against people in Cosmic Crucible. And this gives Cat an advantage over K9. So I'm going to do a video tomorrow. The video is going to be basically a part 2 of this beginner guide, and we will talk about this. I'll have both of them in the video, just like this video. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but we'll also talk about the tips and tricks of what new players should be doing in the game. Let me know what you think. Also, I wanted to point something else out. There was an article written, there was an article that came out that it was like, hyper casual is definitely not dead. And this is one of the former founders of Scopely. Now, Savvy Games, which is the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund, purchased Scopely from him, I guess. Him and his partner, or they bought Scopely basically in April 2023. But this gentleman here is still involved in the industry, and he has another company called Embrace. So he is still the Embrace. He's still the CEO of Embrace, and he said some comments about hyper casual. Now, what is a hyper casual game? Well, this is a Instagram reel of me playing a hyper casual game. It is a game that basically loops, and it doesn't go anywhere and doesn't do anything. And literally, the business model is just to get you to play ads. And so this is a twerking one. You run around and you collect money, and your butt gets bigger or something, and then you do a little shake, and then you watch an ad, and then you watch an ad. And there's no point to the game. It's literally just nothing. But what I thought was interesting is his comments here. I wanted to read this, and I wonder if this is why things feel better, because his comments to me are a little bit alarming. Game developers don't necessarily like talking about it, but your goal isn't necessary to build the most fantastic games. Your goal is to get people interested for enough time, and then churn through them until your game is dead. What? He said that out loud. This is kind of what I thought for a long time, and I've been talking about on this channel, is that making the game fun or interesting or good was always far more important than far less important than monetization and making money. And maybe he's moved on, and he's still doing his thing over there, and he's not involved with Scopely and Marvel Strike Force anymore. Maybe, I don't really know all the details of it, and maybe that's why things are better. Maybe the company has a different message from the top, is I strongly feel that in company structures, the top down, everything filters down. It feels like things are better here in Marvel Strike Force. It really does. And I don't know when exactly that happened, but it feels like it is around that time when things started to change, if I were to guess. A lot of people have been asking about Black Knight's release method, and I've talked about it a couple times, but here's the thing, is this is a data mine, so this has not been confirmed and not necessarily official. Everything is subject to change, but Black Knight is an important character. There'll be a web milestone for spending incursion energy. There'll also be a gear blitz that awards orb fragments. There's going to be a sword satellite. Leaderboard will also have orb fragments, free claims, also contain orb fragments. Each urge have a chance to drop 10 Black Knight shards, 3 game modes, and a website to unlock one character. So I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be a way to play out, but it looks like it's going to be a series of events if you want to get Black Knight free to play. This is something that a lot of people have had questioned. I know I went into Crucible the other day and I used Void Knight to flip the buffs on my opposing team, and Void Knight's ultimate has 5,000% focus and some things didn't flip, and that probably has something to do with deflect. And I wanted to read this because this explains the mechanic. And sometimes when characters have deflects, no matter what the focus is on the character that's applying the negative effect or trying to flip something, it just won't work. And that is because of deflect and block chance. Deflect is just 100% block chance. Blocking, however, has other mechanics. You're thinking when blocking, the character's block amount becomes a flat resistance chance. So say your character has a 25% block amount, that becomes a 25% of resistance. This is also separate from the regular focus check to resist negative effects, so it doesn't make that much harder to apply them. So this is what this means is that if you have 1,000,000 focus and you're trying to apply something to a character that has deflect or a character that successfully block, based on their block amount, there's just a percent chance that it's always going to get resisted. So it has nothing to do with that focus resistance check. The other noteworthy thing is blocking also 100% negates any crit effects. This is why Raider doesn't apply vulnerable against characters with deflect. Yeah, you can't crit when they block or they have deflect. Just kind of interesting. Some of the nuts and the bolts of the game. The next Undying member better be good. I agree. The Undying team is really strong. Commonly underestimated. However, part of the Undying team power is that you can mix with other teams. New Undying members that take that away from the team. The new members really got to make that irrelevant. It's a unique team that gets one new member a year. Hopefully that's the way it plays out. I don't know if that's set in stone, but that makes sense to me. Can't afford to be a flop. Unpopular opinion, loving this Crucible season. I have not been winning. I mean, I've gotten like 1 in 3, 2 weeks in a row, but I really do like the rules. I do like the rules. I prefer the less prescriptive rooms than the overbearing rooms that tell you exactly what to do. Is Nova worth rushing to get? No! No, not really. There's other characters to rush to get, but Nova is not on that list, in my opinion. I'm not going to read all of this. You're welcome to screenshot this, but this is a guide that I thought was interesting about how to get 1.4 million as a Black Cat trial. Then right here, we've got congratulations. Dumped 10,000 power cores on a Black Knight free to play, and they got quite a few. I don't feel like most people got that many, however, but congratulations. I hate turtle defenses with a passion. So I get the turtling as a strategy, understand it's an effective way to win, but when there's an event going on that requires Crucible wins, and all 3 of my matches are against people with twice your collection power and 2 million teams card the boards, it can get so annoying. And I feel like this is a problem going to be for players that play well, because the system is designed for us to have a 50% win rate. And if you keep winning, you're just going to get pushed up higher and higher, and people are going to get bigger and bigger. Like Juicy is somebody that I do Cosmic Crucible videos with. Like, he's quite often, the very lowest collection power, and he's punching up 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million sometimes. So this is like an unfortunate situation where turtling negatively affects the events. So I don't know if they should make events around Crucible wins. Not complaining about the strategy, more ranting. I understand when people do it, but it'd be just so demoralizing. Like, they brought their heavy hitters off defense into offense. They probably still win because of efficiency and help. Instead, they need to make absolute guarantee I can't clear half the rooms. And that negatively affects the event. Lastly, this is just for me. I saw this and I said, oh, I've got to post this. Dear developers, invaders are hanging by a thread. Please give them life beyond skill raids. I mean, other than Nick Fury, which has limited use in Crucible and inside of War, the rest of the team is not useful anywhere else. And people that are trying to 100% the highest difficulty of the raids need pretty strong invaders and it feels like a complete waste of resources, and in general, just feels bad. All right. Well, I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account a 9-star, what is this? A 9-star apocalypse? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye for now.